The rain hammered against the storefront windows like impatient fists. Inside, Marcus wiped down the counter for the third time that hour, though it didn't need cleaning. His sandwich shop had been open for exactly 11 days, and most of those days had felt like slow-motion drowning. He'd named it Second Chance Deli after his own story, 18 months clean. 3 failed job interviews, and finally this. A lease he could barely afford in a neighborhood that didn't know him yet. The lunch rush had been a trickle. Now at 2 o'clock, the place was empty except for the hum of the ancient refrigerator and his own anxious breathing. The bell above the door chimed. A girl walked in, maybe 16, maybe younger, with a backpack that looked too heavy for her thin frame. Her sneakers squeaked on the tile, leaving small puddles. She didn't approach the counter. Instead, she stood near the door, scanning the menu board with the kind of hunger that had nothing to do, with appetite and everything to do, with desperation. Marcus had seen that look before. In mirrors, in halfway houses, in the eyes of people deciding whether to ask for help or preserve their dignity. "Can I get you something?" He called out, keeping his tone light. She flinched slightly. "How much is a half sandwich?" He glanced at the board. $6.50. Her hand went to her pocket, then stopped. Her jaw tightened. "Never mind, sorry." She turned toward the door. "Wait." The word came out before he'd fully decided to say it. The girl paused, one hand on the door handle. Marcus grabbed a paper bag and started moving. Turkey, Swiss, lettuce, tomato, the works. He wrapped it quickly. Added a bag of chips and an apple from the basket by the register items. He'd been giving away anyway to anyone who seemed like they might want them. "Here," he said, holding out the bag. "On the house." She stared at him like he'd just spoken a foreign language. "I can't." "You're not taking anything." "I'm giving it." He pushed the bag gently into her hands. "And if you're in this neighborhood tomorrow around this time, stop by again." "I always make too much food anyway." Her eyes went glassy. She clutched the bag to her chest and whispered something that might have been "thank you" before disappearing back into the rain. Marcus returned to the empty shop. He checked his phone. $300 in sales today. He needed at least $500 just to break even. The math was brutal and getting worse. He closed his eyes and allowed himself one moment of honest terror before pushing it back down where it lived. Then the bell chimed again. And again. Within 20 minutes, the shop was full. A construction crew on break. A woman with 2 kids who said her friend had heard about this place. A man in a suit who ordered 3 sandwiches to go and left a $20 tip.
Thanks, it looks amazing.
By 4 o'clock, Marcus had sold out of bread. He stood in the back room, staring at empty shelves, his hands shaking, not from fear this time, but from something he'd almost forgotten how to feel. Relief? Hope? The terrifying possibility that things might actually work out. The next day, the girl came back. She had $7 in crumpled bills. "For yesterday," she said quietly. "And today, if there's enough." Marcus made her a sandwich.
Enjoy.
He took $7 and put it in the register.
Welcome. Have a great day.
And when she left, he added 2 cookies to her bag when she wasn't looking. She came back every Tuesday and Thursday after that. Eventually, he learned her name was Sienna. Eventually, she learned his. And on the day 6 months later when Marcus signed the lease renewal, when the shop was finally improbably sustainable, he found a note taped to the door early in the morning. "Thank you for seeing me when I was invisible, sir." He stood there in the pre-dawn quiet holding the note, remembering the girl in wet sneakers and his own desperation and the strange math of giving. When you have almost nothing left, the shop wouldn't make him rich. But standing there, Marcus realized he'd already received the only payment that mattered. Proof that choosing kindness in hard times doesn't just change one life, it changes 2.